right, we will soon be hearing a lot more of that. According to experts, 2024 will be the year of the cicada, with upwards of 1 trillion expected to emerge this spring.
Joining us now to discuss it is Catherine Dana, cicada expert with the Illinois Natural History Survey at the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign. Catherine, thank you for joining us. How is 2024 different from other years when cicadas emerged?
I've been looking forward to this for many years now, because what we have is 2 different broods emerging in Illinois. So this is Illinois' big year, really. And these 2 broods have not emerged at the same time for 221 years. So no matter where you go in Illinois, it's going to be hard to escape the cicadas.
Why? What makes that, Catherine? Because it feels like we've heard in years past this is going to be a big year for cicadas. You hear every 200 years. What makes this so rare?
It's these 2 particular broods. So we have cicada broods that emerge every 17 years, and we have cicada broods that emerge every 13 years. And you can go across the U.S. and visit a brood almost every year. We do it as a family vacation most years. So some years it's Pennsylvania, some years it's New York. But this year we don't have to go far, because these 2 broods are going to be right here. They're going to take up most of the state. And it's the fact that these 2 broods are happening right at the same year that's really unique, and that these 2 broods have different life cycles. And there's going to be a small area that these 2 broods overlap.
So most of the state, but is there an area where they will be most heavily concentrated?
So in areas where there are older stands of trees, yes. But the best way to know if you're going to be in one of those really dense areas is to look at some of the maps that they have online. University of Connecticut has been tracking this for decades now. There's also an app called Cicada Safari, where you can record where you see cicadas coming out and look at where other people have seen them as well. So it's a good way to kind of get an idea of where the really dense areas are going to be. Chicago is going to be pretty intense.
Okay. What is the impact of this, Catherine? I mean, do they eat plants? We see this video of them on plants and in trees. Are gardens, is there any significant impact that we need to be aware of here?
So I like to think of cicadas as soil aerators, right? They're making holes in the ground when they come out. They do feed on plants, but they have a straw-like proboscis, so all they're doing is drinking some plant juices. They really don't do much damage to the plant themselves. The thing that you have to worry about is just young fruit trees. And if you're planting any young fruit trees this year, you're going to want to make sure that they get covered with netting. The other thing that's great for a lot of our plants out there is that you're going to have a lot of fertilizer after these guys are done. There's going to be a lot of dead cicadas rotting on the ground, but that's going to help with the fungal and bacterial communities that provide nutrients for our trees and all of our plants.
All right. Catherine Dana, thank you so much for joining us, and have a great vacation.
Thanks so much.
Started to be a staycation, it sounds like, yeah. All right, thanks, Catherine.
Well, get ready, Chicago. We're set to see billions, possibly even more cicadas this spring. With Illinois, the center of emergence, we will see more than anywhere else in the country. Experts telling our Tara Molina there will be no avoiding them, but there are ways to prepare for them. She's joining us with those details and more.
This will be the first sign, right around the middle of May. This is a cicada shell. This is what they'll look like when they emerge, and they will be everywhere. You'll see these before you hear them.
It's going to be this mass invasion, but a peaceful one.
Ready or not, Chicago, here come the cicadas. No, none quite this big. We will not see something like this.
No, we will not.
This is us.
This is us. Also, this is us. These are the ones we see most years.
That's Alan Lawrence.
These are the nymphs that crawl out of the ground.
Associate Curator of Entomology at the Peggy Notebart Nature Museum.
They're going to be everywhere.
He says billions, possibly trillions of cicadas will buzz around the city and the entire state, where 2 different broods will crawl out of the ground at once.
And come out all together at the same time in this mass emergence.
something that hasn't happened since Thomas Jefferson was president. And whether you call their mating call buzz, singing, or screaming, you'll be hearing, seeing, and dodging cicadas for about a month. The cicadas we'll see here, they've been underground since 2007, for 17 years. In Springfield, they'll see both broods, the other underground for 13 years. Sustained by plant roots, he says you don't need to worry about them emerging from any part of your home. Once they do come up,
They will definitely be in people's yards. They will be all around people's homes, but they're not likely to get into your home.
cicadas aren't toxic. They don't bite or sting and won't go after your garden. But if you've recently planted a tree, this is the time to put a cover over it. They're actually good for the soil. That means your lawn and wildlife, according to the EPA, already warning pesticides aren't effective against them.
Leave them alone and they will go away eventually.
And when they do, something else to prepare for. Keep that snow shovel handy.
You will find piles of their bodies just sort of scattered around. You may have to shovel them off your sidewalk.
The cicadas are expected to clear out by the end of June. We put more on what to expect and resources shared by the experts we talked to in the story you'll find on our website right now. Reporting inside the Peggy Notebart Nature Museum in Lincoln Park, I'm Tara Molina, CBS 2 News.
So we're all just being proactive and vigilant to let pet parents know that because there's going to be more cicadas, there's going to be more opportunity for a pet that might want to eat those cicadas to ingest even more of those cicadas.
So it's almost cicada season, and we are set to see billions, possibly even more than anywhere else in the country. So as we prepare for this insect invasion, the same question keeps coming up. How do these creepy crawlers mix with our four-legged friends? What do pet owners need to know with swarms expected everywhere? New tonight, our Tara Molina spent the day with a vet getting those answers.
So you've got a pet like Charlie, and he eats a cicada. He eats a bunch of cicadas. What do you do, and when is it time to come into an office like this one? We got answers for you.
No, that's okay.
Poppy the puppy couldn't be friendlier.
But you haven't noticed any of that since you got her.
But what does dog dad, Caleb, need to know once this little ball of energy is running around with a bunch of cicadas?
So if she sees one, she's going to go after it.
When you got one of your adult teeth coming in.
Knowing if there's any kind of toxic things we should be worried about.
This is Apollo.
We asked the experts.
They are not toxic to pets. They won't sting or bite your pet. The only issue will present for your pet is if they were to ingest a large amount of them, or if they're a smaller dog, if they ate a small piece of the exoskeleton, sometimes that can really irritate their GI tract.
Dr. Cynthia Gonzalez is talking about this shell. Shells, we're told, will cover the ground once the billions of cicadas we expect to see emerge and shed them.
Sometimes in rare instances, an animal might have an allergic reaction to some of the components in that exoskeleton if that pet is also allergic to shellfish.
Who knew? The shellfish of the sky.
In what situation would someone need to call you?
If you notice that after the ingestion, your pet's showing any signs of vomiting, diarrhea, decreased appetite, those would be symptoms that you should call your vet.
With 17-year cicadas expected to cover your yard, your local park, the sidewalk, anywhere you may go with your pet.
We're interested to know how she deals with them for sure.
The experts tell us the best thing you can do is prepare.
I would recommend that you start to think about proactively how and where you're going to walk your dog or give your dog activity so that you can minimize areas that are going to have a lot of cicadas on the ground.
We've got more information on what to expect with these cicadas and what pet owners need to know in the story that's up on our website right now. Reporting inside Family Pet Animal Hospital in Lincoln Park, I'm Tara Molina, CBS 2 News.
We are inching closer and closer to the massive cicada emergence. Chances are you're already seeing signs in your own neighborhood.
We could get billions, possibly even more. Experts at the Morton Arboretum are busy protecting hundreds of trees. And they're walking our Tara Molina through everything you need to know before the insects arrive.
Illinois is the center for emergence, which means we'll see more cicadas here than anywhere else in the country. It also means it's officially time to start preparing for them.
They're definitely
getting ready to emerge.
That's a cicada nymph in Stephanie Adams' hand.
They're certainly very close to the soil surface right now.
A living, crawling sign the time is near.
Definitely if people look around their landscape.
There are other signs too. You may find them in your own backyard.
Ah, here, look at this. And you'll start seeing about a ½ inch emergence holes.
We're told all of this means
Wrap it around the trunk.
the time to take care of what's in your backyard, it's here.
They do cause damage on woody plants, and so we're working to protect some of our specimens here at the Arboretum.
Wrapping trees like this one here at the Morton Arboretum.
Cicada damage is actually from the female laying her eggs in the bark.
Something this expert says you should keep in mind too, especially if you have young trees in your yard.
They may want to consider protecting them using a physical barrier.
Gather it.
We recommend using either a fine bird netting or tulle, which is the same material that's used to make tutus.
They'll tutu about 500 trees here this week.
Tell me about how you know if you have a tree that you should protect.
Anybody can go to our website, mortonarb.org, and look up our plant clinic website on cicadas, and we have a whole host list that people can reference.
But no need to worry about your flowers, fruits, and veggies. The cicada swarm won't go after your garden, and they're actually good for the soil. That means your lawn and wildlife. We expect billions, possibly trillions of them, buzzing around the Chicago area. Across Illinois, 2 different broods will crawl out of the ground at once, something that hasn't happened since Thomas Jefferson was president. Again, these first signs.
These have been crawling out of the soil.
Your sign to get ready.
I would imagine we'll start hearing them in the next 2 weeks or so.
You do not need to worry about these emerging in your home. They're sustained by plant roots, so they'll be outside. And once they're out, you can expect to see them for about a month. You can find more information on these cicadas and more from the experts in the story that's up on our website right now, where you'll find all of our previous coverage. Reporting in Lisle at the Morton Arboretum, I'm Tara Molina, CBS 2 News.
We're back. We're always investigating here at CBS Chicago, and we wanted to know when exactly these 17-year cicadas are going to start buzzing about. And we knew just the guy for the job. Here's meteorologist Ed Curran.
Most people come to the Chicago Botanic Garden to see what's growing above ground. But for our cicada watch, we had to dig a little deeper.
I'm actually finding that they're starting to prepare their emergence holes. We're finding mud caps and some holes coming to the surface, and they're just really prepping, getting ready to come out. They're not emerging yet, but some of them are preparing their holes, and it's kind of neat to see.
The mud caps are easy to spot, and they indicate cicadas are on the way up.
But the mud cap is really when they dig their little hole upward. They are kind of pushing the soil upward as they emerge, and then if the soil's a little bit wet as they kind of push out, they'll push the mud around the side, and they really don't want to emerge, so they're going to actually leave a little dome on top, and a lot of times you'll just see a dome or a little protrusion, and you knock it off, you'll see their hole.
It's all about how warm the soil is down below.
When soil temperatures reach about 64 degrees at 8 inches, they will be very synchronized in their emergence. Right now, soil temps are just in the very low 50s, and as soon as we warm up a bit, they'll be ready to emerge. So when we get near that point, we'll probably with the first rain and then the first sunny day, we'll have emergence in certain areas over a couple days.
We removed just a few inches of soil to meet our 17-year cicadas.
You can already see the redness starting on their eyes, and that's one of the really distinctive things are the red eyes. Because our normal dog day cicada later in the year does not have the red eyes. And right now this is a young nymph who's getting ready to emerge and shed the exoskeleton.
We put the cicada nymphs back down, and they were all too happy to head back home underground, waiting for a warmer day and a warmer welcome. At the Chicago Botanic Garden in Glencoe, Ed Curran, CBS 2 News.